Yay! Oh my goodness. I was getting a little bit concerned that Facebook was not going to let me talk to you guys tonight. It's Mindset Monday, your weekly inspiration, education, and empowerment with Shayla Sadler. So I'm happy to get to be with you guys tonight. I was slightly worried for a minute there. Hey Haley, how are you? So, hey Shayla. Girl, I would have figured you would have been crashed out by now. So there's so much goodness to share with you guys. Hey Anya, good to see you. As you guys are hopping on tonight, I want you to share in the comments below whether you're tribe or not. If you're tribe, share an emoji. Let me know you're here. Hey Sierra, hey Lisa. If you are joining this live for the first time, then you don't understand when I say tribe. Tribe just means that you kick it with Mindset Monday and you show up and support. And so that means you're tribe. Hey Rosalind, good to see you. So you guys, share with me tonight the last win you had. Whether it's small, whether it's big, just share with us in the comments below the last win that you had. Hey Veronica. Oh my goodness, Lisa, I'm not sure to think about that emoji. I like it though. Hey Shanika, good to see you. Oh, I like that emoji. Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining us. So, you guys, before we get started with our topic for tonight, I have to tell you that we are just days away from my first live book signing and chat, and I am so excited. So this is my 21-day devotional. I wrote this and actually released it back in January, and it's a 21-day interactive devotional, and the title of the devotional is Bound by God's Grace. And I chose that title because what I know grace to be is God's unmerited favor. And what I realized in my own life, through my own experiences, was that once I realized that we have God's favor in our lives over our lives, then we can understand that ultimately when it's all said and done, God is always working behind the scenes on our behalf, and that He never leaves us. So the moments that we don't feel like He's close by usually are the times when we just need to dig into Him a little bit closer. And what I share in the book is just some personal stories and some reminders about God's truth. So that's the devotional. It's available on my website if you're not able to join us, but if you're local and can come out this Saturday, we will be at Reasonable's Boutique, 1400 Lawrence Road from 3 to 5 p.m. So I'm super excited about that. It's for blessed. Oh, I did not realize that, Lisa. Okay, then that's a good one to have. Hey, Gigi, good to see you. Let's go back really quickly. So I saw Lisa said, got called back to work after being laid off in January. So prayers that I get my job back. Yes, Lisa, we will keep that in our prayers for sure. Anya says, I just had one today. I met my goal of losing 20 pounds. I met it in 5 weeks instead of 6. Anya, congratulations. That is amazing. I am happy to hear that. I have one more announcement to take for you guys. So if you are in the Greenville area and you are an entrepreneur or you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, then I want to encourage you to come out to the Surge and Elevate workshop that is going to be right here in Greenville Saturday, May the 12th. So this coming Saturday, May the 5th, is my book signing and chat, and then the following Saturday is the workshop for entrepreneurs, and I will be speaking. And can you guess what I'm going to be talking about? Can you guess? Can you guess? Mindset. And just some practical tips to help you not stay stuck in business. Because as entrepreneurs, if we are honest, at some point or another in our business, we have all felt stuck, right? But the secret is to not stay stuck. And so I'm actually going to be my part of the workshop will actually be about the art of reframing and just how much power it is to that. But I'm not the only one presenting those. So there will be someone talking about just the roadmap for success. There'll be somebody giving you some strategy as it relates to branding and social media and those types of things. So If Shanika is on, if you will type in the comments below, girlie, how they can get tickets to that, I would appreciate it. Hey, Marie, good to see you. Hey, Kurt Chill, good to see you. Thank you guys for joining us. And to my replay watchers, thank you guys for supporting each week as well. I am a replay watcher, so I love replay watchers. I hardly ever get to watch anybody's live. So let's see. I told you guys the announcements. Oh, my biz shout out for this week. My biz shout out is actually a company here in Greenville called Dion's Sweet Creations, and that is none other than Terkesa Allen, and she does yummy goodness, you guys. So she is actually creating some yummy goodness for my book signing on Saturday, but she does cake pops and chocolate drizzled popcorn. Hey, Miss Javon, good to see you. Hey, Blondell. Veronica says, I walked away from my job on Friday. Congratulations, Veronica. That is amazing. If you guys are just joining, we're just sharing tonight. What is your recent win? What's a win that you've had recently? Thank you, Shanika, for posting that. I appreciate that. So if you're just coming on, share a win. If you're tribe, show me an emoji tonight. Show me some love. You know, I'm happy to have you guys rock it with me week in and week out. But, so I was saying that Dion is going to have the treats. So she does cake pops and chocolate drizzled popcorn and covered pretzels and, I mean, just all kind of stuff. Covered Rice Krispie treats, covered marshmallows. Like, she's amazing. So if you are in need of something sweet for an event or just for yourself, look her up on Facebook and find her. You know, I definitely believe in supporting each other when it comes to women in business and entrepreneurs in general, right? Support whenever you can, because you know what I believe for sure, right? We are better together, and we are more alike than we are different when we take the time to realize that. So let's get down to business and talk about what I had for us to talk about tonight. And what I titled this was actually, yes, you can. Because how many times have you told yourself you can't, right? So I want to give you 3 things to consider tonight. So, Kurt Chill says, I got 5 new clients. I'm a credit restoration specialist, if you know anyone who needs credit restoration. That is amazing. Congratulations to you. That is an awesome win. And Anya says that, yes, she's used Terkesa before for her son's birthday. Yes, I am looking forward to it. I actually was telling her, Anya, that we were talking tonight, just finalizing some things. And I was like, do I really want to share my popcorn on Saturday, or do I kind of want to just keep it for myself? But I'm going to share because I don't need to eat all that chocolate-covered popcorn. Oh, my gosh, y'all. It's white chocolate-covered popcorn. It's so yummy. But 3 things to consider why I say actually, yes, you can. Number 1 is, you know how we will just make up in our minds, I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't do this. And the crazy part about it is it's not really our fault that is our default, right? Because the truth of the matter is our brains are wired to go to the negative. Rosalind says, I launched my meal prepping business approximately 4 weeks ago, and I love it. That is impressive. Rosalind, if you are local in the Greenville area, I can't remember if you are or not, type your information in so people know how they can get in contact with you if they need it. Hey, Adrian, good to see you. So our brains are just wired. It's a primitive thing to, 1, be negative, and 2, to be defensive, right? So it's automatic. It's an automatic thought. I can't. But what I want you to learn to do is test that, right? Test that theory. So if you say to me, Shayla, I can't lose 10 pounds. Shayla, I can't quit my job. Shayla, I can't start a new business. Shayla, I can't write a book. Then the question that I'm going to ask you is have you proved that? Like, or are you lying? And it's kind of hard to think, right? Because we don't really want to consider ourselves to be liars, like, especially to ourselves. Like, most people, if you said, are you a liar? They would be like, no. And they would be offended that you asked them. But the reality is that facts don't lie, but feelings often do. They just do. So when you say, I can't, then I'm going to ask you to test that theory. So if you say, I can't write a book, and I say, oh, how do you know that? Like, you wrote one and it didn't work out. How do you know that you can't write a book? Well, it's not that I ever tried, but, okay, then end of the sentence. So you don't know if you can or you can't if you've never tried, is my point, right? So the thing I want you to consider, 1, is, have you tested that theory? Because if you've not tested the theory, and if there's no proof backing the fact that you can't do something, then it's not that you can or you can't. It's that you haven't decided that you really want to. So did you catch that? It's not that you can or you can't. It's that you haven't decided that you really want to. And so that brings me to the second thing that I want you to consider. And this is going to sound kind of crazy when I say it, but it's really important. So don't miss it, right? The second thing I want you to consider is sometimes you just have to give yourself permission to. And when I say that, you're like, Shayla, what? No, like honestly, like I had to give myself permission to write a book. You just have to do that. Give yourself permission. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because the reality is your brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. Hey, Star, good to see you. Hey, Kimberly. I hope you guys had a good event this past weekend. I've seen some good stuff on Facebook about it, Kimberly. But your brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie, right? So whatever you tell your brain, it believes. So if you say, I can't lose 10 pounds, then your brain says, oh, we can't do that. Let's process that accordingly because that's what she said. She said we can't. And your brain goes along with that, right? But if you say I can, hence give yourself permission to do it, then the brain processes those thoughts in a totally different way. Hey, Em, good to see you. Than it does when you say I can't. So there's power in your words. So if there's that goal out there, and if you guys are just joining us, what we're sharing with each other tonight is a goal that we met recently. It can be big, it can be small, it doesn't matter. Just share. Type in the comments below a goal that you've met. And if you're tribe, then type an emoji. So Kimberly says, thank you. It was great. And you are totally correct about what you're saying. Oh, thanks, Kimberly. And thanks, Star, for joining us. And thanks for the love, Star. And so what I was saying was sometimes it just requires you to give yourself permission. And as crazy as that sounds, that activates something totally different when it comes to your mindset, right? So it's one thing in your mind when you say, I can't lose 10 pounds. It's a totally different ballgame in your mindset when you say, I haven't lost 10 pounds yet. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, you've heard me talk before about the power of the word yet, right? Yet leaves it open-ended in your brain. And so your brain is continuously working towards getting to this event. Oh, your most recent one was hosted the Fiercely Feminine event. Yes, 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 yes. I said yes to a vision and it scared me. And I bet that women were impacted in a powerful way because you were willing to say yes to a vision. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that. But when you say yes to something, or even when you say not yet to something, a whole different process goes on in your brain, right? Your brain is now working towards that thing. Because you've told it, it just hasn't happened yet. You've left openness in your brain for possibility for what's to come, right? But once we say can't, the brain says, oh, shut down, not going to be able to do that. So the first thing I wanted you to consider was, have you tested your theory, right? Because it's either you can or you haven't really decided yet that you want to. That's the reality. It's really not can't. It's either you can or you haven't really decided yet that you want to. Okay, so once we make the decision that you can decide that you really want to, then give yourself permission. And that sounds simple, but I'm telling you, it is so powerful. Visualization is one of the most powerful techniques that you can learn when it comes to mindset. Visualizing and seeing that thing done, seeing it finished, and walking towards that. Okay, so then the last thing I want you to do, because remember I said there are 3 things I wanted you to consider, right? So the last thing I want you to consider is if you do those first 2 things, then now I just want you to shift, right? A lot of times in my process, I call it the pivot, right? So I just want you to shift. And what I want you to shift towards is all of the energy that you were wasting coming up with that list of reasons why you couldn't do something. I want you to shift that energy now and come up with reasons why you can do it, or come up with ways that you could do it, right? It's the same energy. The same energy and the same thought process that it takes for you to write down or mentally come up with this checklist. Oh, I can't lose 10 pounds because I don't like to go to the gym. I can't lose 10 pounds because I don't want to give up soda. I can't. The same way you make that list, you can use that same energy to make a list as to why you can, right? Because remember, we just gave ourselves permission that we could. Okay, so those are three very simple, but like I said, powerful things. I made a note, so I just want to make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, so last thing I want to talk to you about is, okay, so we're going to shift, right? We're going to pivot our direction, and now we're going to work towards this thing that we thought that we can't do. Well, the reality is sometimes our goals are big, right? They're supposed to be, though. Like, you know, they say that if your goals don't intimidate you, then they're not God-sized goals. And sometimes we need God-sized goals, and sometimes we have little goals, and that's fine. But when it comes to those big goals, there are times when they are daunting tasks, right? When I made the decision back in April of last year that I wanted to write a book, I actually didn't make that decision. I didn't come up with that on my own. Let me say it that way. God told me I was going to write a book, and I just kind of was like, oh, okay, am I really? What's that going to be about? And I was open to it, but it was just like, okay, God, well, when you tell me what I'm going to write this book about, then I will. Then that was a really big thing for me because I'd never done it before. And it wasn't necessarily that I didn't think that I could. I'd just never done it before, right? So I could have stopped right there and said, oh, I like that. Kurt says big is bigger in God. Yes, that's good. But I could have stopped right there and said, oh, I can't write the book because I've never done it before. I can't write the book because, well, I'm a speech therapist. I work with 2- and 3-year-olds. Who's going to listen to me? I mean, I could have gone down this whole list. But instead, I came up with small steps that just got me closer and closer and closer to my goal. And that is, again, another one of those little mindset tricks that sets you up for success. Small daily wins. And that's why I asked you guys today, celebrate a win. Tell me something good. Tell me a goal that you've met recently. Because you have to celebrate small daily wins. And again, it's a mindset thing. When your mind starts winning and you start paying attention to the little pieces, then before you know it, you've met your goal, right? We've all heard the theory or the analogy before that when it comes to thinking about a puzzle, right, a huge, massive puzzle, whether it's 5 pieces, 50 pieces, 500 pieces, or 5,000 pieces, you put that puzzle together the same way, one piece at a time, right? So it's no different with our goals. We work on those goals one step at a time. And sometimes they're small steps, and sometimes they seem like they're not getting us very far. But as long as you are moving in the direction, what do I say? As long as you are moving in the direction of the very thing it is that you've been hoping, wishing, asking, and dreaming and praying for in the first place, then you will see that you have everything in you to meet the goal. It's just a matter of shifting your focus to see it that way, right? And so for me, I mean, I've had all kind of big, crazy goals, right? I trained and ran a half marathon. I was not a runner, so I could have said, well, I can't do a half marathon because I'm not even a runner, you know? I birthed a baby without epidural. That was crazy. But I could have said, I can't do that. That's going to hurt. I shifted my focus, and I focused on something bigger. And the bigger for me was the end result, right? And so when we can visualize and focus on the bigger, right, and take small steps to get us to the goal that we're trying to meet, then before we know it, guess what happens? Success. We meet our goal. And we didn't get stuck behind our emotions, and we didn't stop with I can't. We decided to realize that either I can or I just haven't made the decision yet, right? And so I know what it's like to make hard goals and to think that they're unattainable or they're big or they're huge. But I also know, you guys, I'm not telling you what I read, I'm telling you what I've lived, that when you can just put them into small little victories, you can break the goal down, you can take small steps in action, then before you know it, you get to where it is you have to go. So, let me see what everybody's saying. If you guys are just joining us, remember to type in a recent goal that you've met. And if you're tribe, give me an emoji. Shayla says, when I moved into being a photoshopping queen. Oh my goodness. Let me shout out my biz bestie for you guys really quickly. So, my biz bestie's name is Shayla. Isn't that awesome? Shayla and Shayla, right? We're like, I don't know, this crazy duo. But anyway, so she started a business at the start of the year called The Digital Spa. So she's responsible for my website. She's responsible for every bit.ly that I ever put up to sell rings, bracelets, books, anything that's coming yet that I haven't put together. And most recently, she is responsible for my business cards that I cannot wait to share with you guys this week. So I absolutely would not be where I am right now in business if it were not for her. I love her. And if you have web needs, if you have photoshopping needs, if you need a website, if you need bit.ly, landing page, I don't know, Shayla, what else? Business cards, any of those things, then hit her up. It is The Digital Spa on Facebook. And I'm just so happy to be rocking with her. Love you too, girly. She is the hoops to my yo-yo for sure. So let's see. What is everybody else talking about tonight? So Anya said amen. Hey, Gina. Hey, Jessica. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, April. All right. So you guys, one of the things that happened a couple of weeks ago when I went to the Spark and Hustle conference is I had an opportunity to talk to some people about Mindset Monday, right? And so some feedback was given, some suggestions were made, and some things that I could just do a little bit more effectively. And I'm all for that, right? I tell you guys all the time, I am forever the teacher, but always the student. Always learning, always growing. So one of the things that they encouraged me to do is to encourage you to share, right? To share during the live so that we're talking, and also to share the video out. So I decided, because I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, when I'm asked sometimes to share a video out, I have to kind of think about, I have to wait, I have to hear, and then once I hear a nugget, then I'm ready to share the video out, right? I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys, because I tell you, I think transparency is a lost art, but I have not lost it yet. So I want to ask you guys, if you got a nugget in anything that was said tonight, if anything resonated with you, I want you to do two things for me, please. One, type it in the comments below, and then two, share this video out. And when you share the video, share the nugget with it so that people know why they need to take time to click and watch the video. I used to say all the time when I started, share because I haven't met your friends yet. And that's still true. Like, I've met some amazing people over the last 6 months doing Facebook Live, but there's still so many people out there that don't even know that there's a such thing as a Mindset Monday. Veronica says, faith grows when faith is used. Oh, Veronica, that is good. I like that. Faith grows when it's used. And you know what I also think about too, Veronica? It's very easy to have faith or say you have faith when it's not being tested. Right? But that's when it's really faith, is when you're put in a position where it has to be tested. Then that's when you know you really have faith. Hey, Danica, thanks for joining us. So, you guys, it looks like nobody else has any more comments. I'm waiting. I know sometimes there is a delay. So, I'm going to recap really quickly, and then I'm going to let you guys get back to your Monday night. So, tonight we talked about the fact that, yes, you actually can. And I gave you 3 things I wanted you to consider, right? So one thing to consider was to test that theory and figure out if it's that you can do something or if it's just that you're not actually ready to do it yet. The second thing that we talked about was once you've tested that theory and you realize that it is something that you can do because you've never done it. So you don't actually have any proof that it's something that you can't do, right? And then we make the decision that you're going to move forward in doing it. Then you just give yourself permission. And that seems simple, but that's super powerful. Give yourself permission to do it. And the reason why we talked about giving yourself permission was because your brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So whatever you tell your brain, it's going to believe. Jessica says, my mindset changed when I heard this quote. Some of the greatest ideas are in the grave. Yes, Jessica, that is powerful. I say all the time that I do not want to return to God still full of all the gifts that he gave me, right? Because he put gifts and purpose in each one of us. So I don't want to return to him still full of all of that. I want to return to him emptied from everything that he gave me. So thank you for sharing that. And then the last thing that we talked about is the fact that your brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie means that whatever you tell your brain, it's going to believe, right? So if you tell your brain you can, your brain is going to process and work towards you doing it. But if you tell your brain you can't, then your brain's going to process it that way. And so we talked about the fact that once you realize that it's all about what you tell your brain, then you can pivot right? And you can begin to use your energy to work towards actually meeting that goal. And 2 things we said about meeting the goal was break it down into small pieces, right? 1 step at a time. You do a 500-piece puzzle the same way you do a 5,000-piece puzzle, the same way you do a 50-piece puzzle. 1 piece at a time. And celebrate every small win along the way. Hey, Nika, thanks for joining us. Hope that things are going well your way. So, you guys, this has been the last Monday of April. Tomorrow morning, we wake up to May, 1 step closer to the summer. Can you believe it? And I appreciate you guys joining. Do not forget, come out to the book signing this Saturday at Regionals Boutique, 1400 Lawrence Road. And if you can't make that, then I will post the bit.ly link so you can get the book online. Thank you guys for joining. Have a good night.